What's up, dude? Today I'll be taking you on a spice-filled adventure. Get ready to indulge in a symphony of flavors, aromas, and textures that will leave you wondering if you're even still in America. Because today we're making one of the greatest culinary dishes of all time, chicken biryani. And as always, there is no time to waste. Now let's go! The first thing we're gonna do today is make Biryani Masala, which is the spice mix you use for biryani. I'll explain what these spices are as they drop into the pan to toast. However, before proceeding, you can absolutely just order one of these online if you don't wanna make it yourself, but it only takes a little bit of work to pull this off, so why not give it a try if you have the spices on hand. Starting here with some whole cinnamon sticks, dried red chili, cloves, star anise, caraway seeds, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, fennel, black peppercorn, and both green and black cardamom. There will be a couple more spices going in here, but first we need to toast this. And to do that, turn the heat to medium low. You want it pretty low. You don't want to burn these spices. Give them a little toss here. While those toast, I have a little shopping tip for you. The bulk dry goods section of a supermarket is heavily underutilized. For instance, instead of spending $10 on a jar of nutmeg, you can just go and buy one for like 25 cents. And you will find so many more deals like that. Definitely check it out at your local supermarket. These have been toasting for just 5 minutes now, and the house has been completely bombarded with this incredible fragrant smell of spices. That is one thing I love about toasting spices I will never get tired of. They're done. At this point, you want to get them out. Don't leave them in the pan. And you need to let them cool down now for a full 15 minutes. Before adding them into a spice grinder like this, you could absolutely use a mortar and pestle if you want, or even a blender. Although since I have this, I'll be using it and blend. And there we have it. After just about 20 seconds, I'm gonna take off the top and add some fenugreek leaves, some ground mace, salt, and some microplaned nutmeg right into the mix. Return to blending for another 5 seconds and your biryani masala is done. I'll just dump that out into an airtight Tupperware container and try to use that up within about 3 months. And trust me, it's gonna be an incredible addition to your pantry. Next, we're gonna make some fried onions, which is an essential part of chicken biryani. And we'll be using the onions themselves as well as the leftover oil for this recipe. I'll start by halving some yellow onions. I'll make a little V-cut to get that root completely out. Make a little slice down here, peel. And I would highly suggest using a mandolin for this preparation because you want everything to be the same size so it fries evenly. And that's just hard to do with a knife. So I'll just start slicing on a mandolin. Make sure it's the right thinness. You want it to be pretty darn thin. Something just around like this looks pretty good. And we'll just slice it all up. Then just drop them into some peanut oil at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want it to be too hot, and you really want to take your time with this process. Cook them at a lower temperature. After 10 minutes, they'll have lost all of their water. I'll keep that heat low and stir frequently, and they're gonna start to change color here pretty soon. And this was a slow process. It took a full 25 minutes to get this incredible golden brown color you see right here. The less rushing you do, the better they're gonna be, trust me. At this point, I'm gonna get them out, push some of the oil out first, like this, and out onto some paper towel here. You know, I've been making these fried onions for about 10 years now, and they are incredible garnishes on so many different kinds of food. Really, really good. The last thing you need to do is spread these out before they harden and crisp up. Right now, they're gonna feel chewy, but as they dry out, they're gonna turn completely crispy. Amazing. Moving on, we're gonna marinate the chicken, and here I have some boneless, skinless legs and thighs. The legs here, I just made a couple slits in them so they'll take to the marinade, and the thighs I cut into thirds. Here we go, starting with the biryani spice mix we just made. Coriander powder, salt, Kashmiri chili powder, ginger garlic paste, which is just pureed ginger and garlic, lemon juice, turmeric, mint, cilantro. This is a little bit of reserved oil from the onions, and some plain yogurt, which I just whisked up a little bit so it has no lumps. And the last ingredient we're gonna add, which is gonna add so much insane flavor, is half of our fried onions. We need to save the other half for when we layer up the biryani. I'll just give this all a really good mix. Oh, Marcus, come over here, dude. It's raw chicken, but just smell it. Just smell it. Smell the authenticity. Doesn't that smell insane? It's like, you want to eat it right now, you know? I want some kind of chicken sashimi with this. I don't. Don't do that. I did say boneless, skinless, but obviously the leg still has the bone in it. The thighs do not. Just gonna cover this up, let it marinate for a couple hours in the fridge. If you wanna do it overnight, it's even better, but a few hours will do. Let me thank today's sponsor, Seed. So since I've been getting older, I'm 35 now, believe it or not, I've really been making a conscious effort in my life to take my health seriously. And to do that, I've been using Seed's DS-01 Symbiotic, which is a 2-in-1 prebiotic and probiotic, which is formulated using 24 clinically proven strains. They have long, confusing names, but they are essentially billions and billions of healthy bacteria for your gut. I just take mine first thing in the morning before having any food for my gut health, heart health, and even skin health. That's right, it can give you much better skin. And what's great about Seed, unlike some competitors, is their commitment to science and research, which really makes them stand out. DS-01 is built with innovative ViaCap technology, which is basically the inception of capsules. It's a capsule within a capsule that protects against stomach acid, digestion enzymes, and bile salts to ensure that the probiotics actually make it down to my gut alive. I've been taking Seed for 2 weeks now, and I have honestly noticed a difference in how I feel. If you want to give your gut health the treatment it deserves, head over to seed.com/ThatDudeCanCook and use code ThatDudeCanCook at checkout to save 15% off your order. Seed also ships their products using sustainable and biodegradable packaging, and they're made from ingredients like algae and non-GMO cornstarch, which I thought was pretty cool. With your order, you will also receive a very nice refillable glass jar, as well as a free travel vial for your convenience. And now back to the video. To begin cooking this chicken biryani, I'm starting with a real heavy pot, and I have it over high heat. I'm just adding some ghee now. If you want, you could absolutely just use oil, but ghee would definitely be the preferred fat here. And here we go, in with all the marinated chicken. Oh. Whew. After 5 minutes here, you can see that that oil is separating a little bit. At this point, I'm gonna turn the heat down just a touch under medium, and I'm gonna pop a lid on it and let it cook for another 10 minutes. What we're trying to do here is cook the chicken about 85% of the way through, because it's gonna finish cooking when we layer it with the rice. Once the time is up, I'm just gonna turn off the heat. Let's talk about the rice, because that's pretty important when it comes to biryani. Because what you wanna find is an aged Basmati rice. Here are 2 good brands. This one's called Ahu Bara. I'm not sure how aged it is. It's a Pakistani rice, and it has a really nice flavor and these super long grains. Although today I'm gonna be using this Asian kitchen Basmati rice, which looks extremely similar. The reason I'm gonna be using this one is because I know it's aged for 2 years. Although if you don't have it, don't let that stop you from cooking. You can absolutely just use Basmati rice. I'm not gonna be one of those recipe guarder gatekeepers. Just cook. I want you to cook and get out of your head. I'll start by rinsing the rice and discarding that water about 4 times before filling it back up with water and letting it soak for 1 hour. I've got a large pot of water behind me coming to a boil right now, and while that happens, we need to prepare the spices for the rice. If you want, you can just throw all the spices in the water directly. The downside of that is you'll have to pull them out later. I like to use one of these little cheesecloth bags, although you could just use regular cheesecloth. And I'm gonna put all the spices in here, starting with cinnamon, star anise, caraway seeds, whole black peppercorn, cardamom, and clove. And that's it for the spices. I'll just cinch up my little bag here. There's also a little bit of oil, salt, and lemon juice, as well as a little bit of lemon peel. And this green chili here, which I'm just gonna make a slit in it like so. And that's everything ready for the water. Once it comes to a boil, just drop it all in. My ingredients have been boiling in there for 5 minutes. Now I'm adding the rice. It's nice and soaked. All I did was strain off the water it was sitting in. Just a touch of water in there to get the remaining rice out. Just like we did with the chicken, we want to cook the rice 85% of the way through. So once it hits the water, you're going to cook it for roughly 5 minutes. It should not be mushy at all. It should still have a little bit of bite to it. And once the time has elapsed and your rice is par cooked, go ahead and strain it out before tipping it out onto a sheet pan and letting it steam for about 10 minutes. Now you don't have to do this, but if you want to take it to the next level, you can use a little bit of saffron, which by the way, my cameraman Marcus really called the smell on. He said it smells like the inside of a plastic water gun, which it really does. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of saffron. I like it a little bit, but it does give this biryani dish a really cool visual effect. And for my own little spin on biryani, I'm shouting out all coconut lovers, because you would usually just steep the saffron in some warm milk. Although what I'm gonna do is crack open a coconut and scoop out all the flesh inside, at which point I'll break it up a little bit, add it to a blender, cover it with water, and blend on high speed for 1 minute. At which point I'll strain it through a cheesecloth, and boom, you have the most incredible homemade coconut milk, which is then what I will use to steep the saffron in. And by the way, that coconut milk is incredible to have in your fridge. Have it with coffee, have it with tea. It truly is one of the best alternatives to regular milk you can find. You'll be happy to know it's finally time to layer up our biryani and do the final cook. There I have my chicken. It's just slightly warm. I'm doing a little bit more of our biryani spice mix that we made. A little bit of chopped mint, cilantro, and of course our incredible fried onions. Woo. Now I'm going in with my basmati rice. 1 big layer. You know, if you want, you can do multiple layers of chicken and rice, but I think 1 layer is absolutely fine. Next, we're going in with a few tablespoons of ghee, followed by some of our vibrant yellow saffron coconut milk, more biryani spice mix, the rest of your mint, cilantro, and finally the other half of your fried onions. Now, a piece of tin foil goes over the top. We're gonna do a little bit of dum cooking is what it's called, D-U-M, that's the name. This is just to really keep everything sealed in nice and tight. Lid goes on top of that. There we go. So the technique here is usually would use a griddle pan. I actually don't have one, but you just want a nice heavy bottom pan. Pot goes inside, and I'll first blast this on high heat for 5 to 6 minutes, at which point we'll turn the heat down to just a touch over low and then cook it for another 15 minutes. All that's left to do after that is let it rest for another 15 minutes off the heat, and your chicken biryani is complete. 15 minutes is up. I am so excited. Okay, here we go. Woo. The smell that wafted in my face as I pulled back that foil was haunting, hauntingly good. Ooh, ooh, wow. Oh. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little bit of work. Right hand, getting in there right away. Oh my God, whoa. In India, they eat with their right hand. Oh, God, that's good. Oh my God. The chicken is extremely tender and perfectly cooked. The spice is there and in your face, but without being overwhelming. You can still taste the rice in the chicken. The rice itself is incredibly fluffy and just perfectly cooked. It really is a symphony of flavors and aromas that you absolutely never forget. My God, Mark, do you want to try this? Get in here, bro. Yeah, dude, go for it. Oh, that's a good bite.
If you like chicken and rice, you need this in your mouth.
She's like the king of chicken and rice. Ooh! Yeah. Until next time, you know I love you and I'm out.